Hello again, YouTubers. So I just want to start out by saying I'm sorry I have not filmed a video in some time now. It's just, I'm not going to make excuses. I've just been kind of preoccupied and lazy during this busy holiday season. So today I'm actually going to be doing a video on the toenails again. It is on how to paint your toenails neatly. It was a request by one of my viewers. So I thought that this was a great idea because I know a lot of people have trouble painting their nails neatly, or at least making them look good in the end. So I thought I could help by using some of my tips. So let's get started. So let me start out by showing you some of the things you will need. So let's just first off start by saying Q-tips are our friends. If you cannot paint your toenails neatly, these little puppies come in so handy with some nail polish remover. Just put some on the end, swab it around your toenails. I'm pretty neat at painting my toenails, but these things are still always used and handy. Also, toenail polish. I enjoy the simple colors for toenails because for some reason my toenail polish stays on for a long time and they're really cheap and have lots of good colors. I'm going to be using probably this purple today just so it shows up on my feet better and you can see really exactly what I'm doing. If you have like really close nubby toes, which I know a lot of people do. Mine are on the verge of nubby toes. And you can use these little separators and they just go in between your toes and separate them so they don't curl over each other and get in the way. I use this little just toenail file just to get your toenails shaped up the way you like them. That's really important when painting your toenails, is the shape and the length. These things are also handy, is these files that have like all the different ends. They have one for buffing, filing, edges, and everything. Those are great. I know a lot of people have shorter toenails when your toenail is actually shorter than the toe, so that can be really hard when you're painting. You might hit the skin, and I'll show you a way to help prevent that more. So let me now paint my toenail. So the first thing you want to do is when you have your toenail polish, when you take your brush out of your toenail polish, you just want to wipe off the excess on one side of the brush. That way it's not big, drippy, and gloopy. That's going to save you a lot of mess. If you're working with your big toe, you want to keep the nail polish on the other side of the brush. So, as you can see, I have a little bit of toenail polish on the end still. So, the polish you use also makes a big difference. But, most toenail polishes are about the same texture. I like to start at the base of my toenail, and I like to work it in so I flatten the brush down and then I just pull it up. I kind of do a little flinging motion because I don't want to push down too hard at the tip or it'll bump my skin. And I just do that a couple times, tap off the excess, and then start at the base and just brush it upwards. And my toenails aren't like in the greatest shape, so it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's definitely not as hard as it can seem. It can be kind of intimidating for some people, especially when you have weird positions. If you have trouble reaching your toenails, that's a big thing too, is getting a good position to paint your toenails. I like to sit on the edge of, well, my bed's a futon, so it's really short, but I like to sit on the edge of it and get so that I'm in a squatting position near my feet. You want to have all arm access to your feet. You want to be close so you can, grab your ankle comfortably, and then you will be able to paint your toenails comfortably. I also suggest if you sit on your toilet seat, you can put a little stool off the ground, and so you can kind of put your feet at the level of your hands. You just want to be at a comfortable level, otherwise it can get messier and more difficult. So I'm going to paint the rest of this foot and then I'll show you how it turned out. Another tip I have for the small toenails is when you bump off the excess nail polish, get all the excess off, you come over and you can press your toenails, your toes down on the ground so that they're kind of more steady. And then you just you can go across parallel, or horizontally instead of vertically. Sorry, you can go horizontally. And the width of the brush kind of goes with the width of your toenail, and you just want to make sure you cover the whole toenail, otherwise it will peel. I find this best with the baby toe too, which I oftentimes push over my other toe. Sometimes I just let it sit there, and I don't really worry about painting the whole thing. I just give it a good little brush over and try and cover the majority of it. It's going to curl back under there anyways. So after you do that, it's going to look similar to this, depending on, you know, how much practice you have. As you can see, there's some parts that are actually, I have the same color on that fingernail. There's some parts that are not quite covered, some parts that are covered in the skin and everything. And, you know, that's why you do a light first layer. And then the second coat you do, you can kind of make sure everything's covered. If you don't cover everything, it can often chip and peel a lot easier. Also, another fact is that, you know, any excess you get on your skin, you can always take that handy dandy Q-tip and wipe off the excess. So let me paint the second toenail and then we can do a cleanup. So one of the last steps when painting your toenails I do is with a Q-tip, I get a little bit of nail polish remover on the tip of it, and then I just go over where it can be a little messy. And as you can see, I don't know if it's clear enough, but I got a little bit of toenail polish right here on the edges. And I think a really important thing when doing your toenails is actually taking your time. I think a lot of people rush it thinking it's supposed to be fast, but it is about being steady and, you know, careful, and that's really hard to do when you're rushing. I don't have a lot of toenail polish on other parts of my toenails. I have a little bit right down here, but you have to remember anything also on your skin will probably rinse off in your first shower. So I have a little bit right here, but nail polish isn't meant to stay on the skin, so if you take a shower, if it's just little things, it will definitely go away. And I did the second foot as well, and I don't really have much of a mess, and maybe that is because I, you know, have done it quite a bit of times, and your toenail shape doesn't really change. So once you do it once or twice, it kind of gets easier. So, you know, I recommend practice and being very patient. You know, it's feet. Feet are not the easiest thing to work with, you know, when it comes down to it. So anything like that, you know, and you can do as many coats as you want, really, as long as it doesn't get all messy and gloopy. But I actually do one coat all over both my toes, and then I do a second coat when they're all dry. I do a second coat on just my two big toes, because they're the ones that are gonna, you know, get rubbed and stuff the most, I believe. So I think a second coat really helps them look, you know, finished. So here is the finished look. Hope you enjoyed. Hope I had some helpful tips for you. So enjoy, and everyone have a very Merry Christmas.